Sony have surprised us all by bringing out a brand new full-frame compact camera, the RX1R III. It's actually almost been a full decade since we saw the RX1R II, and this third generation model is definitely a high-end premium compact camera, which feels like Sony have really fed a lot of their latest tech into a very nice small body with some really impressive specs, and this is shaping up to be a fantastic option in that compact space. Now, we'll mention it early because it is important. It's not going to be the cheapest camera out there, but I think actually there is a huge amount to get excited about here. It shares the same sensor as the A7R V, so that's giving you a 61 megapixel back illuminated CMOS sensor, which gives you some really lovely image quality and enough resolution to crop in, something that you can actually do in camera, which is always appreciated when you have a fixed lens compact camera like this. Now, speaking of that lens, you're looking at the 35mm f2 Zeiss lens, which is actually the same lens as the previous model, which might seem a little disappointing at first, but it was already a very lovely bit of glass and is able to absolutely keep up with that high resolution of the sensor. And that 35mm focal length also feels ideal for a camera like this. And for those of us who do like a little bit of a tighter focal length, like I mentioned before, you do have that ability to crop in camera, like I say, and more than enough resolution to make that viable. It's also got the same AI processing unit found in Sony's top-end mirrorless bodies, which means it's capable of recognizing and tracking all kinds of different subjects in real time, as well as other features like pose estimation, which in practice means you have extremely fast and accurate autofocus that can keep up with almost any situation, and that is realistically something you're unlikely to ever have to think about. Now, I've mentioned a few times that you can crop while shooting, and Sony are calling this step crop. It allows you to switch from the native 35mm to a 50mm or 70mm equivalent by just pressing one button, which is extremely easy and, to be honest, fantastic to hear. I'm someone who loves shooting a little tighter than 35mm, so I love having that option available on a camera like this. Now, the 50mm is still giving you a 29 megapixel resolution, which is pretty impressive actually, and cropping to 70mm still gives you 15 megapixels, which is still enough to be able to get that shot. Now, of course, what is most impressive about this camera is that it's harboring this level of spec inside such a small body that makes it absolutely ideal as an everyday camera, a travel camera. It's actually only 498 grams with the battery and the memory card, so super easy to take with you wherever you're going, and it looks great as well. It's a very subtle premium look and feel. It's actually a fairly similar design to the previous version of this camera, but if you look a little bit closer, you'll notice things like the top is now completely flat with the dials and controls being flush, which gives you a very sleek look and actually makes it easier to have in a bag as well. Now, this definitely feels to me like a photo camera first and foremost, which I actually think is completely fine, but there are some video capabilities here as well, just a little bit more limited. So you're looking at 4K 30 frames a second, 1080p up to 120 frames a second. That's completely fine. It's not going to blow your mind, but like I say, this definitely feels a lot more like a photo-oriented camera, which I think is actually a really nice thing to see with a compact camera like this. There's also no image stabilization in the camera outside of a little bit of digital stabilization for video. That's something to bear in mind as well. Now, in terms of connectivity, you've got USB-C, you've got micro HDMI, and you've got a mic input as well as the multi-interface shoe on the top, which is not bad for a compact camera like this. And on top of that, it actually takes the NP-FW50 battery, which really ups the battery life from the previous model, something that I think is genuinely quite impressive in such a small body. It's also got a built-in viewfinder, which is different from the previous version. That's a much better design, I think. It's the same resolution, though, as the previous model's viewfinder, which I think is a little bit of a missed opportunity. But the LCD screen is a little bit of a higher resolution, which is lovely, although it's not tiltable, which is a little bit of a shame. It's probably to keep the size of the overall camera as small as possible, but in real life situations, I would almost always take a tilting screen over a fixed screen, even if it meant the camera was a touch bigger. Overall though, while it's not a cheap camera, this is an absolutely huge upgrade over the previous model, as of course it should be. It's been almost a decade. But the RX1R III looks like it's going to be able to stand proud amongst the premium full-frame compact cameras on the market. and this is a great option. Now, hopefully we're going to get our hands on it properly as soon as possible to do a full review, so make sure to subscribe so you can watch that as soon as we're able to bring that to you. You can, of course, check out the full spec of the camera by following the link down in the description. I will see you in the next video, but until then, as always, thanks for watching.